All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all another episode of Running With You. And today we got to run about Boosie, man. Boosie is one of them entertainers that like to speak his mind. He wears heart on his sleeve, and sometimes he get a lot of backlash, and sometimes he get a lot of people who agree with him. And on this particular topic, I think it's a mixed bag. He's basically talking about the Madden cover. Yes, man. Boosie going viral for the goddamn Madden cover, bro. Basically, Caleb Williams is on the Madden cover. He's on two editions, I believe. One edition, he's in the air jumping, leg spread, pause. And then on the other edition, the deluxe, I believe, he has his fingernails painted and is clearly showing. And all this is ironically during Pride Month. All this is ironically, with Caleb Williams as the cover boy. And on top of that, he has allegations of him being on that side, which I don't believe, but need I say more? Boosie basically came to Instagram with his thoughts, and then he posted a video, which I'm gonna get into after I talk about this Instagram post. He basically said, "Fingernails painted on Madden. Young boys look up to you, bro. Shaking my head. This is the example you set for them. Players should grab your ass in the locker room and call you carry every time they see you. You want respect from your teammates, and your hands look like that. They bitch nails at home." Shaking my head. Whoever thought you would see this on Madden cover? I feel sorry for these kids. All right, that's what he had to say on Instagram. Then he made a video which we about to get into and react to, and this was after all the backlash he received.
Hey, they got a lot of people mad at me right now in the DM. They going off in my DM. Boosie, you gonna be part of the community with us? Nah, bro. I just feel like, they mad because the truth hurts. I come up under Tecmo Bowl. I never thought in a million years that I would see a Madden cover with one of the best players with his fingernails painted. A game that sold to billions of little boys. What kind of message are they sending to these little boys? I never thought in a million years I would see this. As parents, how much do they have to do for us to say that's not right? Us daddies gotta go tell these boys that we got raising them to be men. That's wrong, son. That's for women. And not just daddies. These mothers, single mothers who raising boys to be men. You have to tell your son that's not right.
All right, now one thing about Boosie, a lot of times when a lot of homosexual propaganda is pushed on the community, he always be like one of the first persons to take a stand. And one of the first things they go to is, well, maybe you are gay. Like having no opinion on a belief would just automatically make them think that he wants to be gay. Like, that's crazy to me. Another thing is, yes, a lot of these boys are influenced by these celebrities, whether it's a rapper, whether it's a athlete, football player, basketball player. So if these kids see these, entertainers emulating things or doing certain things, they want to be just like them, just like the people before our time wanted to be like Michael Jackson, wanted to be like Michael Jordan. Everything they did, they emulated it. And people always say, "Oh, well, you got to raise your kids. You can't let a celebrity, dictate what your kids do." But at the end of the day, kids go off they celebrities. That's why, celebrity worship is frowned upon in certain other religions, because they put that barricade up for them not to have to go through these type of things. So I do think that when it comes to Hollywood, when it comes to entertainment, I do think they have an agenda that they are pushing on kids before They are pushing on kids at a very young age, where kids are very impressionable, where the brain is underdeveloped, and they can't really just think for themselves and make their own mind and choices they want to go to. Back when I was coming up, in movies, in series, especially series, like in series, it's always a gay couple now. It's always you know, it's always just more in your face, to where it's back in the day, it'll be a little here and there, and it'll be spoke on, but now it's in your face, kissing and everything, even on commercials. And I guess you will say that is the reality, because the reality is it is a lot of people who are, you know, in gay relationships nowadays. So you got to show what reality is. But I think when it comes to people with they feelings and issues with this, is too much pushed in your face, and it's a part of kids programming. It's a part of commercials. It's a part of Netflix series. It's a part of even cartoons, and that's where the problem comes, games, video games that kids are buying and want to play, and that's where the problem comes in at. It's okay if you have it in adult films, but when you're doing it for youth programs, that's where the issue come in at. Back in the day, if a kid was having these feelings or these thoughts, then they'll just come out on their own time and they'll be their own decision. But now it's pushed towards them in their face at a young age, and that's where the problem comes in. That's where the problem comes in. And a lot of things, when it comes to certain things, this is where it starts. But then it's going to go to something else, and then it's going to go to something else, and then it's going to go to something else. And I think that's the issue that a lot of people have. Let's continue.
In a couple months, he going to play in your fingernail polish. You know what I'm saying? Next is going to be lipstick on the covers, thongs. Is that enough? Man hiking a ball with a thong in his ass.
Now, I think Boosie going to the extreme. I don't think that'll ever just get that way. Now, we always some crazy times. We always sometimes, well, I'm starting to see rappers get accepted for certain things that I never thought they'll get accepted for. The things Lil Uzi do, Playboy Cardi, Young Thug. I think a lot of these men play the game. They play the game at the expense of their morals and their beliefs to get more access to success. Now, I ain't gonna lie, some of these dudes I do think actually are doing these little backdoor rituals and doing what they got to do to maintain success. So I do believe that. But I don't know, but a lot of people call Boosie a hypocrite on a lot of things, because I remember NBA YoungBoy, he had his fingernails painted. Now, the difference is, I believe he had his fingernails painted black. And I think that was through YoungBoy little emo stage. A lot of these rappers, they go through stages and they go through phases, and I think at that stage, YoungBoy was really on house arrest, going through a whole lot of stress, going through a whole lot of emotions. I think he went through a little emo stage, had his fingernails painted black. Now, they wasn't colorful, but they was black. And I think Boosie made a statement on that. He didn't like that, and I think he spoke to YoungBoy directly about that, but a lot of people are saying that he should have came at YoungBoy more harder, like how he's coming at Caleb Williams. You can't pick and choose. But I digress.
Is that enough for you to tell your child that it's wrong? That is wrong. See, that's what it's going to next. Lipstick, thongs. I never thought I would see this, a game that sold to billions of little boys. You're pushing it. Half of these kids, they're so young, they can't even think for themselves too much. Some of them can, but most of them, they go by what they see. Like, what message are they putting on these billions of little boys who buy these games? I'm just asking as a parent to the other parents, when is enough enough? To the daddies who raising men to be boys, The single mothers who on that football field at practice raising that boy to be a man. When is enough, man? John Madden turning over in his grave. It's a sad day for Madden.
All right, now on this situation, I agree with Boosie. I do think it's an agenda. I do think it's propaganda. I do think that a lot of times parents got to come in and step in and tell their children what's right from wrong. This is no different than the time I think Snoop Dogg he took a young family member of his. I'm not sure if it was his grandson or I'm not sure who it was. I believe it was his grandson. And he took him to go see the Buzz Lightyear movie. And in the Buzz Lightyear movie, they had a gay couple in the movie. And the grandson was young and he was like, you know, why are they kissing? You know, he was kind of confused because I think that was probably his first time seeing that. Oh, that was his first time seeing that with his grandfather around to be able to ask him, why is this happening? And Snoop had to explain to him what's going on in the after the movie or during the movie, and he felt like he shouldn't be doing that after or during the movie with his grandson. Like that shouldn't even been in that movie for them to even have that conversation. So, like I say, it's getting pushed on these kids, and for some kids, they could be like, okay, my beliefs stands with my parents' beliefs, but for some kids, just like I both say, they could be easily impressionable and can't just think for themselves. And those gonna be the ones who's gonna be got over the propaganda. You know, now for the most part, I think a lot of these kids were eventually gonna go with what they want to do in life, regardless. It's just sometimes when you do it as so young, it's too late to turn back. Well, I mean, if you was gonna do it regardless, you're gonna do it regardless. But it's just different when you get impressionable over in the youth stage of your life. But I want to know what y'all think down in the comment section. Do y'all agree with Boosie or do y'all disagree with Boosie? Like if y'all disagree with Boosie, go ahead on and speak your piece on it. If you agree with Boosie, let me know your stance on it. Do you think that none of this should matter? It's the parents' job to parent their kids however they see fit. You know, let me know down in the comment section. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed yet, what you waiting on? Until next time, I'm out.